Now let's get talking this Monday. The issue of deregulation in Nigeria's downstream oil and gas sector has been back and forth subject for several decades. Successive governments in the country have attempted, albeit unsuccessful, to liberalize the downstream sector of the country's oil industry, especially as it relates to the pump price of fuel. Every attempt at freeing the pump price of petrol in the country has always been met with stiff resistance from Nigerians and, of course, the labor unions. While those who perpetually oppose the practice have made frantic efforts to convince others of the evils of deregulation, as its proponents have also continued to push their own side of the argument. However, industry players are of the view that a fully transparent and totally deregulated market in the downstream space will lead to economic growth and development of the country and will expose the sector to foreign investments and creation of employment, and by extension minimizing, if not totally eradicating, the crisis in the petroleum sector. To discuss this and of course other burning issues, and many are asking the question, what is happening at our filling stations? Are they not as wet as they should be? I have the Southwest Zonal Chairman of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, that's IPMAN Southwest Chairman, Mr. Dele Tajuddin. Good afternoon. It's good to have you in the studio. First time in the year. Thank you so much for joining us again.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Tolu. Nice meeting you.
All right. First, before we go talking about all of the issues, yesterday I saw for myself that queues are back to some filling stations in Lagos, and I saw that in Abuja too last week. I was in Abuja last week. The same thing. Government has said they are not deregulating. They have come out to say there is an extension in the implementation of the PIA. What is responsible? Are people hoarding products? What is happening?
Well, good afternoon, Phil. I think we have to be honest with ourselves this afternoon. No doubt about it that we are witnessing pocket of queues in our filling stations, and this is as a result of short supply from the government depot, NNPC, and of course the private depots around the Lagos axis. One of the major reasons is that the 5 NNPC depot in Southwest, as of today, they are not loading products.
5 of them?
5 of them, they are not loading products. And also, we witnessed issue of bad products, and I must use this opportunity to let the masses know that the issue of bad product or adulterated product was not by our members, that is independent petroleum marketer. As a matter of fact, we suffered a serious loss in terms of cash and integrity, because we received the products from the private depots. And as I'm telling you, we have run into a lot of millions of naira loss as a result of this bad product, which you can see. So I want to sincerely tell the masses, the motorists, that it is not the station owners that are responsible for this product. As a matter of fact, we need to be compensated, but we don't want to put masses in another crisis if we should resort into going on strike demanding for compensation, because we know already people are in deep economic problem. So we don't want to add to that.
Now we can see those pictures live on television now of that to me, I don't know, but petrol that I know, that I've seen, doesn't look, this way. So I don't, what really, there's a process at which we know that this the product goes through before it gets to the marketers or to independent marketers like you. So what's been happening? This is not something that, because this will affect cars and a lot of negative effects on your business.
Definitely.
Bad monies we are talking about here.
Yes. I don't want to preempt the investigation. I must commend the MD of PPMC, Malam Isaku Abdullahi, who has intervened, and they are investigating what's responsible for this. So until the investigation comes out, I don't want to preempt that. But I must also say that, because I mentioned that there is no product in NNPC depot.
Yeah.
This the man in question, that is Isaku Abdullahi, is the new MD of PPMC, is taking the bull by the horn to ensure that all the depots come up alive again. As a matter of fact, he's doing a holistic rehabilitation of the depot. And you know, we have to, because we engage him, and one thing about him is that once you call him, he takes your call. Once you lay down your problems, he addressed it. So for that, we believe that in order to get all the depot working, because over time we have decay of infrastructures, we have decay of equipment, and so on and so forth. So they are working on it, which we all know that they are doing currently across all the depots, to ensure that operations, supply of petroleum products are done adequately. That is what is responsible for non-performance of non-working of the depot, according to my discussion with him, and which he has assured us that in no distance time all those issues will be resolved. But he's taking a measure now that is taking us to private depots for loading. As a matter of fact, a strategic program is going to come out very soon, whereby some stations will be identified and wet the stations that is across Lagos Ibadan Express Road, Alimos local government, where we have the largest concentration of looking at the Ikorodu axis, Ekpe axis, and so on and so forth, and Ogun State, the major cities, and all the rest. The independent marketer will do their own. The major marketers will do. NNPC retail will do their own. I think he's doing that, and I must commend him for that. And one thing about him is that he doesn't just stay in Abuja. As I'm talking to you, I think he's on his way to Lagos to come and see things by himself and get the issue addressed.
Wow, that's a very good one. Let's talk proactive. A little bit about the effect of this on your business.
Well, the effect on
the issue of trust comes in here. You know, when people buy products from you and they are sure that what they get here is what they are actually paying for, and issues like this happen, how has it affected business?
I must tell you that if not for the fact that most of our customers believed in us, is already marring our integrity, because but we have to explain, and in most cases we have to remove that product and replace it to the customers. Yes. In some cases we have to work on their vehicles that we have paid 20,000-30,000 naira to some vehicle owners by repairing their vehicles. But like I said, we know the right channel to go, but we don't want to shut down to add to the problem of the masses. Because if we do that, we know the implication. Because today, Hipman is an organized association, and we have the stakeholders. When there are issues, we join government to get the issues resolved, rather than fighting with government. We sit down, we look at the issues and get it resolved. It is the better way of doing business, rather than going on strike and the rest. But I can assure our members that we are working on that, and we are going, at the end of the day, they will be adequately compensated.
Beautifully said. Now, the whole big elephant in the cupboard here is deregulation. That is what we've been talking about for months, for even years, possibly. And PIA came on board, and everybody welcomed development. But when the issue of subsidy came up, government had to soft pedal and shift for another 18 months. That's what we have clearly on the PIA. We don't know if the lawmakers will have to do some reconnection, rearrangement. Maybe there's a legality to that. Let's leave that law aspect out of it. But in your own thoughts, what do you think? We've talked about this before, but what's your thought? What's your take really about opening up the downstream?
Okay. Well, before I go into that, let me also tell the masses the problems we face in the movement of product to our
Of course. Go ahead.
And that also will link me to the issue of the regulation of the industry, because in some cases the economic model, I don't know what happened to us in this country, doesn't even work. For example, we have people in the industry that has made themselves a cartel, the capitalist, because if you look at the issue of diesel and kerosene that has been deregulated,
Yeah, that's true. It's about 400.
Some people are taking advantage, and that's why I want to say that the government should not remove their hand totally in pricing. As of today, diesel is being sold at a Papa depot for 401. And how much do you sell that at the station? That is without truck. Kerosene, which is supposed to be for common man, is being sold for 377 naira at a Papa depot. Before you take it to the filling station, how much is that going to be? So the capitalists are taking advantage. For example, it is only NNPC that bringing product, and one of the issues that I want the MD that I'm going to discuss with him to address is that NNPC is the sole importer of this product as of today, and what the price supposed to be is 148.17 kobo. As I am talking to you, we are buying at 157 naira per liter at the depot without transport. Before it gets to your station, we are talking of about 162, 163. So our profit margin has been eroded completely. So, and that takes me to issue of the regulation, that if they leave it in the hand of some people, that is the capitalists, I'm telling you, they will strangulate the masses. So the government needs to do a lot. If it has not been put in the PIAB, they have to seriously monitor the price. Because it is not enough to say that because the price of crude oil is at 93, and you now move the price of the product to 400 and something. Like today now, the price of diesel is about 420 at the filling station. Yeah. If you now put it side by side, does the increase in the crude oil price justify the increase in the price? No. The answer is no. But people just take undue advantage. As a matter of fact, some of them had this product in their tank before this thing. They are only taking undue advantage. So, but nevertheless, the regulation, I think it is the best way to go if it is properly done in a proper way. Because it will, like I said, it's going to relax the system. It's going to bring in more investors. It's going to give room for more products. That's the way it's supposed to be. But the government should not leave it alone. They should also have a control because of this cartel. Now,
you see that cartel thing brings me to that issue that where you see the likes of Labour and some analysts not wanting to support deregulation because they believe that some people, in quote, might want to take advantage of Nigerians. And you know, PMS is more sensitive than diesel and PMS and all of that. So I'm thinking, what is really necessary for somebody to be able to import products? Is it really attractive to import products at the moment? Because only NNPC that is importing. Can private people import at the moment?
Yes, you know, before this time, private people are allowed to import. But there is trust deficit, wherein people brings in maybe 10,000 metric tons and call it 30,000 metric tons and swindle Nigerians of this subsidy of a thing. So that is just the problem. In fact, some people brings in products, they will not discharge it, they will just turn around the ship and come back and as if it has gone back to. So it is, but the laws are there. Exactly. I just don't know why people cannot just abide by the law, and why the lawmakers or the implementers of the laws cannot, I mean, get people arrested. There are so many cases in court about this subsidy where EFCC is standing and the rest. At the end of the day, you hear nothing about it. These are some of the things that is appalling.
So I'll ask you again as we almost wrap up now, that what is the situation with this Are we going to be faced with another round of scarcity? NNPC will come. We've not seen their press release, though. Maybe they'll come to say they have enough products in circulation. They have enough this. What is really the true state of things at the depot? According you are buying, buying from them.
Well, I must confess to you that the situation is not too good because of non-availability of this product.
Supply has dropped.
Coupled with this bad product that came in the last 2 weeks, and the products are being rejected now. So because of that, there is a shortage of products. But like I told you, that the managing director of PPMC is addressing it. We have discussed with him. He's addressing it, and if somebody is addressing a problem, I mean, I think we should not entertain fear. I want to assure the masses that in line with my discussion with the man, I think we will not witness any serious scarcity.
That would be a good one. So finally, message to your members as we move on, because it's really, particularly about the margin thing, it seems to be worrisome to me.
Well, quite honestly, I must say this is not a good time for my members. I commend them for their perseverance, but there's limit to how people can persevere, because we are in business.
Yes.
Monies are borrowed from bank, and the interest rate is not going to be reduced because your margin is reduced. So I want to implore the NNPC, who is the sole importer, and the people in charge of the products, to please ensure that it is available for us, and they should also control the private depot owners, because they are the one giving the product to the private depot owner. They should be on top of the situation. They should enforce the normal price on them, because they should. It is their responsibility. We have the Department of Petroleum Resources there, who has the powers to ensure that they enforce this price normalcy. So our members, we have suffered a lot, and we are still suffering this matter, but we just need to plead with our people, because we love this country. We don't want crisis for this country. It's not as if we are pleased, but I thank them for that perseverance.
Yes, really, it's a serious one. I must thank you so much. Worried a lot of issues here this Monday afternoon, looking at fuel price, talking about availability, talking about adulterated products, a lot of issues in the downstream of Nigeria's oil and gas industry. I've been speaking to the zonal chairman, Southwest, of Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Ibrahim, is Mr. Dele Tajuddin Lamidi. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. We really appreciate this.
Thank you, Tolu.
Yeah.